Today we'll discuss a topic about artificial respiration. This is a very important topic. Remember this. Okay, whenever you see a person who's not breathing, whose heart rate is, you can sense the heart rate, you can feel the pulse, but the person is not breathing. At that time, you have to do certain procedures. Okay? This is about those procedures. It is life-saving. You can save somebody's life if you attend this lecture nicely. No fancy equipments are needed, no extra knowledge is needed, hands-on procedure. This is a skill that you will build. Okay? This is a skill that will stay with you for the rest of your life, that can actually save someone's life. Generally, when we perform surgeries, it is not one-man job. Many people are involved in the process. This is one-man job. You single-handedly can save a life. Okay? Be very careful and be very aware when we teach this. Artificial respiration by the name. Artificial. When the natural stops to exist or the natural ceases, we go to the artificial form of respiration. Is that clear? Okay. It is an emergency life-saving procedure. Of course, normally there is no need for your artificial respiration and stuff. It's an emergency case. When somebody is not breathing, that is an emergency case. We have to handle it as an emergency procedure. Okay? It is an emergency life-saving procedure. Some manipulative techniques we will be using to induce respiration or to cause respiration. Okay? Chalo. When the lung stops functioning or sudden stoppage of breathing, indication is just two. One, respiration ceases to exist. Two, heart is beating. Cases where even we will not find the heart rate or the pulse, we will add one more step, that is CPR. We'll discuss about it later. Today the topic is artificial respiration, just the respiration part. Okay, so indication is no respiration, pulse we can get or heartbeat we can get. Okay, now when will you look for it? What are the instances? Yes, tell me. When can a person stop breathing? Which cases? Yes, asthma, person stops breathing. Complete cessation of respiration. Tell me. Yes? Yes, louder. Foreign body impaction, you are saying? Food is a foreign body, na Baba? So? Anything else? Asphyxia. For the reason, why asphyxia? Something results into asphyxia. Any reason? Sorry? Tracheal fracture you are saying? Anything mechanical which compresses the windpipe? Okay. Strangulation. In hanging cases, we can find respiration is ceasing. Anything else? Very common in the movies you have seen. Drowning cases. Yes. Anything else? Choking essentially what it does? Compresses your windpipe. Yeah? Compression of windpipe is done. Next. Anything else? Do you know about the Auschwitz camp? Hitler's Auschwitz camp. Gas chamber. If there are increase in poisonous gases, that can cause. Anything else? Any medical condition? Tell me about any medical condition where this happens. Anybody heard about polio? Can anyone tell me when we have declared India polio free? Which year? This is a very important question. Which year India was declared polio free? Like 2 or 3 consecutive years, we recorded no new polio cases. Which year was it declared? 2014. Okay? It is very significant. Remember this. Okay. So, these are the incidences. Drowning, electrocution, overdose of anesthesia. In poliomyelitis, as you can see, there are cases where there is respiratory muscle spasm. At that time, respiration may cease to exist. Okay? Strangulation, many of you told here, windpipe pe extra pressure in the windpipe. This results in cessation of respiration. Other than that, carbon monoxide poisoning, accidents, myasthenia gravis. In myasthenia gravis, we see type 2 respiratory failure, like type 2. What is this type 2? Type 2 is when carbon dioxide rises. What is type 1? When there is oxygen deficiency. Okay? Now, we have to imagine the scenario. If you all can imagine, there is this person, you went into a beach for your holidays. There's this person you saw is drowning. What will you do first? What will you do first? A person is drowning. You have seen that person. What will you do? Common sense. You will keep quiet. You will think. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Stand up. Yes. Pumping the water out. He's drowning in the sea. उसको पहले लेके आएंगे. You will think लेके आना है. उसको पहले लेके आएंगे. ठीक है. फ्रेश एटमॉस्फेयर पे लाना है. सेफ एटमॉस्फेयर पे लाना है. वहां नहीं, वहीं पहुंच के करने लगे. तुम भी डूबोगे. पहले उसको एक क्लीन सेफ एटमॉस्फेयर पे लेके आना है, जहां पर तुम कर सकते हो. ठीक है. एक्वामैन नहीं बनना है. फिर क्या करना है? उसके अराउंड अगर कोई टाइट क्लोथ्स है, वो टाइट क्लोथ्स को रिमूव करना है. बिकॉज आवर जॉब इज उसका मसल मूवमेंट होना चाहिए, चेस्ट राइज अप होना चाहिए. सो कुछ भी उसको रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहा हो, विल ट्राई टू रिमूव दैट. एनी रेस्ट्रिक्टिव मटेरियल ओवर हिज बॉडी विल ट्राई टू रिमूव दैट. ओके. सेकंड इज patient should be kept warm. Anybody can tell me hypothermia, below which temperature we term it as hypothermia? Degree Fahrenheit, degree Celsius, anyone tell me? Beyond which range, below which range we call it hypothermia? Random guess karo. Stand up. Huh? Hypothermia, what do you think? Below 37 degree Celsius. 35. Okay, below 35 and below 95 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, hypothermia. Sit down. What happens in hypothermia is your body will try its best to exert all the energy it has to maintain the body temperature. You all are aware about homeostasis in 12th NCERT. Homeostasis, remember? Body has this tendency to maintain our temperature. Okay, homeostasis requires energy. Body will try to use up all the energy which it has to maintain the body temperature. If there is hypothermia, you are trying to respiration. What is the reason that you are trying to induce this artificial respiration? Because oxygen, you need oxygen supply. Oxygen supply for what? Energy. If you are already using up the energy which is there in the body by maintaining the temperature, it is making your work more difficult. So ensure from outside you are keeping the patient warm so that he doesn't have hypothermia, so that your efforts are somewhat reduced. Okay. Next is any mouth, say any frothing or any accumulation which is there in the mouth or nose. Remove that. Clean that out first. Okay. Otherwise, when you're trying to there is a technique called mouth-to-mouth respiration. You will push that inside. So any accumulation in the nose, mouth, clear it out first. Okay. Next is denture is removed. You see many people use these artificial dentures which are removable. They can go back to your throat. Okay. First remove these kind of dentures and whichever things extra which are there. Okay. Next is fresh atmosphere, which we have discussed. Now, there are methods of artificial respiration. One is manual, another is mechanical. We'll not focus on the mechanical here, we'll focus on the manual. What you can do. Okay, the skill that you can do. Okay, there are few methods out there. Schaeffer's method, Holger-Nielsen method, Sylvester method, and your mouth-to-mouth respiration. In Schaeffer's method, what essentially happens is, see, two methods are there where the patient will be prone. One method is there where the patient will be supine. You all know what is prone and supine? All know, na? Okay. Two methods, that is your Schaeffer's method and Holger-Nielsen method. These two methods will be done in prone position. and your Sylvester will be done in supine position. Mouth to mouth respiration, supine position. Okay? In your Schaeffer's method, the doctor, I'm assuming I'm talking to you and you are acquiring the skill and you are a doctor by then. The doctor sits at the level of the waist of the subject, the patient. Okay? The patient is placed in prone position. Okay? There will be flexion in the elbow and the patient will rest his head there. Okay? Extension in the shoulders. The doctor will sit at the level of the waist of the patient, facing towards his head. He'll put his arm at the loin area. What is loin area? Yes, sir? Stand up. Yes. Loin area, which one is it? No? The elbows should be flexed or extended. The elbows should be flexed or extended. Extended? Okay, the shoulders should be flexed or extended. Just now I have said it, just now. Sit down. You will place your palm at the loin area, below the lowest ribs, above the hip. Okay? Your fingers should be spread out, thumb at the middle. Then your elbows, the doctor's elbows, should be straight. Okay? You will put pressure at the back, at the loin area of the patient. Vertical. The angle between the patient's body and your arm should be 90 degrees. Okay? You will put pressure in the loin area. That will cause expiration. This will increase the pressure in your in the abdomen area of the patient. When the abdominal organs get more pressure, the diaphragm will have more pressure from the down and it will move up. This will cause expiration. Okay? You understood now how it's happening? Abdominal pressure rises, diaphragm moves up and expiration happens. Okay? And then you will tilt backwards. This will cause diaphragm coming down and inspiration. You're putting pressure, expiration. You're bending backwards, inspiration. Pressure given, expiration. Pressure removed, inspiration. Understood? Expiration for 2 seconds. Inspiration for 3 seconds. Okay? Generally, inspiration is an active or passive process? Active. Expiration? Passive. Here, active means what? It requires energy in the form of ATP, but basically it requires energy. Here, we are giving that extra energy. When are we giving that energy, in inspiration or expiration? Expiration. Here, the expiration is active and inspiration is passive. This is unphysiological and this is a drawback of this method. Okay? This should be continued for 12 to 14 times a minute. Why? Why 12 to 14? Yes, very good. He did the good thing. Raise your hand. Okay? 12 to 14 because that's the normal respiratory rate. This is your Schaeffer's method. There are few disadvantages. If there is any abdominal trauma of the patient has any kind of abdominal trauma, at that time you cannot put pressure in the loin area. Okay? Some good things. It is less tiring. Okay? It's simple. You put pressure and leave. This is less tiring in comparison to the other methods. Okay? Schaeffer's method, understood everybody? This whole procedure is mentioned. Advantages, disadvantages. If there are any injuries, inspiration is passive, expiration is active, which is unphysiological. This is a very simple method, can be continued for a long time. If there are injuries in the thorax or back, this method can be used. Okay? It is done in the prone position. So if there are any water which is accumulated in the thorax or the abdomen, there is something called gravity, you know now. So gravity works best in this case. Okay? These are the advantages and disadvantages of this method. Second is your Holger-Nielsen method. What happens is, The patient is prone again. This time, the doctor will not be at the level of waist. The doctor will sit at the level of his head. And the doctor will be facing towards his feet. Okay? Got it? Now, what the doctor will do is, again, his arms will be flexed, shoulder extended. Anything which is coming towards your body, flexion. Away from the body, extension. Okay? So arms flexed, shoulders extended, head resting over the arms. Okay? Now, here what you will do, you will place your arms above the elbow of the patient and pull the arms up. The patient is lying in front of you, hands like this. You will hold his arm and you will pull it up, pulling it up. This will cause inspiration. Then what you do is, you put your arms at the back, at the scapula, and give pressure. Again, elbows extended, go as vertical as you can, as 90 degree as you can. That will cause expiration. Here we are using energy for both inspiration and expiration. So the ventilation is better in Holger-Nielsen. You understood the procedure now? It's done. I'll ask one of you how to do. Holger-Nielsen method. Understood? Advantages, disadvantages. It's a tiring method. You are exerting more energy. You're pulling this up also, you're putting pressure also. It is more exhausting for you. Okay? Again, 12 to 14 times a minute. Okay? If there are any thoracic injuries, it is difficult, or any injuries back to the scapula, it's very difficult. Okay? Second is, adequate drainage will happen in this. Again, prone position, any secretions in the mouth, it will drain out, gravity. Okay? Next is, injuries to abdomen. You can still use this because abdominal pressure we are not exerting here. Okay? This is both both inspiration and expiration is active. So ventilation will be better. Okay? Next is your silver star method. Last two methods, patient was prone. This method, patient is supine. You will again sit at the head, facing at the toes of the patient. Facing at the toes of the patient. You will hold the wrist of the patient and you'll pull his arm above his head. Okay? You'll pull his arm above his head. This will be inspiration. Okay? Then you hold his wrist. He'll put it over his chest. Then you put pressure over his chest. This will cause expiration. Okay? Inspiration, expiration. Understood? You can... Yes, you will sit in front of the patient's head, patient supine. You will hold at the patient's wrist and you will put his arms above his head like this. His hands will go like this. Okay. Then you will hold his wrist and you will place his arms above his chest and you will put pressure over his chest. When you put pressure, that will cause expiration. When you pull his arms up, what are you doing essentially? You're moving the chest wall up. That will cause inspiration. Understood? Could you understand? Okay. So this is the procedure. Inspiration will last for 3 seconds. Expiration for 2 seconds. Here also we are exerting energy both in inspiration and expiration. So both inspiration and expiration are active. Okay? And since both the processes are active, the ventilation will be better. If there are any chest wall injuries, we will not do this method. Okay? One disadvantage is, here the gravitational effect will not get much. The patient will be supine. Okay? You understood the procedure now? Here inspiration, expiration both are active. So ventilation is proper. Okay? Disadvantages, again, you don't get advantage of gravity. Second, it's a tiring method. If there is any rib fracture or thorax problem, you will not do it. Okay? Next is your mouth-to-mouth respiration. This is the best method of artificial respiration. You must have seen it in many movies. Okay, it's not that romantic when you do it. It's very scary. The scenario is very scary. Okay, what you essentially do is, the patient will be in supine position. You will try to remove as much as froth or external bodies. If you find any, you will try to remove that. Okay, then what you do is use your left hand handkerchief or any thin cloth if you can, if it is available there, only then, and try to put a pillow or something. See, pillow you will not get there. Okay, anything which will rise up his chest. Essentially, when you put anything behind his shoulders or scapula, what happens is his neck is extended. Okay, extension of the neck is very important. Okay, then what you do is pinch the patient's nose. Use your thumb and pull his mouth out as much as you can. Okay, then with one forceful blow, you blow in the mouth. Essentially, that should be the volume of 500 ml, tidal volume. What it does is two things. This will increase the CO2 levels in his body. This will trigger his respiratory center to breathe out. Second, lung has a recoiling capacity. So when there is more pressure in the lungs have this tendency to push that out. This will also cause expiration. Okay, you do this. It's very difficult to measure 500 ml ka respiration which you are giving. So 1 second forceful expiration you do, and then you remove your mouth. Okay, this is your mouth-to-mouth respiration. Now, as you can see, it's written here. Advantages, disadvantages. Since the patient is again in supine position, no advantage of gravity. Okay. Second is it's a good ventilation method. Inspiration is active. Here expiration is passive. Inspiration is active. We are giving our energy in it. Expiration is passive. This is physiological. Active inspiration, passive expiration. Okay. And this is the best method for babies. In babies, this is the only and best method. Okay. This is always preferred in comparison to any other methods. Okay. This is your manual mode of artificial respiration. Mechanical, we are not discussing in this class. That's all.